Is your electric dryer not drying like it used to? Stay tuned to today's video and we'll show you how to repair it. Our Kenmore dryer of 17 years is not drying like it used to. It's now taking almost twice as long to dry. So after doing a little research, found it's probably the Element. So I bought an Element kit off of Amazon. Comes with some other thermal switches and whatnot. We'll replace those as well as long as we're in there. But the main thing is we're getting the Element replaced so we can get back to drying a full load in just a matter of minutes instead of hours. So I'll show you step by step on how to do it. First thing we're going to do is unplug the dryer. Need to make sure we get the power off. And then we're going to pull it out. What I learned a trick a long time ago is just take some Windex or a little bit of soapy mixture water and spray that on the floor. That'll help you pull out the unit, the appliance. You could use this for a stove or whatever. But I've been doing this for years. It doesn't leave any marks. It doesn't leave any gouge marks. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so I got the unit unplugged. So I'm just going to take my glass cleaner. I'm going to spray that right where the legs are, and so when that slides forward, it's just going to slide really easy, just like that. Alrighty, I've got the machine turned around, and what we're going to have to do, we're going to remove this back cover, and that's going to expose everything. So I am going to have to take off the hose, make sure that's disconnected. And of course there's a little bit of lint in here. That's, it is a dryer, so expect to see a little bit of dirt. Okay, we're going to just go around the machine, and on the back side here, just remove the screws. And we want to make sure you protect these screws and just put them someplace that you'll be able to find them when you're done, because they seem to get misplaced every once in a while and you end up only having one left. Okay, now the cover's off. Just to get the screws off and kind of lift up slightly. So this is the side that houses the heating element. So I'm going to go ahead and disassemble that and expose all that. Okay, so I get the heating element exposed, and open my box for my new one. I'm going to go ahead and get the parts switched out. It also comes, unfortunately, I don't know the names of a lot of these parts because I'm just a plumber. So, but I want to go ahead and replace the parts that it gives me. This one I believe looks like a sensor to me. I'm not sure. That's going to go right here in place of this part. And then inside the package, we get some other sensors and switches where we'll replace all these. And you don't have to know the names of everything. Oh my gosh. If I knew the name of everything, that'd be fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and go through and replace the parts that match up to the parts that are on the unit. You don't have to get all technical and everything, it just needs to be done. Okay, so what we have here is a thermostat. So what I'm going to do on that, there's a tab here. We're going to go ahead and just bend that out of the way. And it comes with 2 screws, and it's going to mount, and the screws are going to go through those 2 holes and mount the new thermostat to the unit, to the element. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to take our 2 screws that they provided. So I've got my thermostat mounted. I've got it mounted here and here with the 2 screws they're provided. I bent this tab up. It's going to bend that back down a little bit. And that's going to secure the thermostat to its location. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do, we've got a jumper that was sent with the kit. The original one, the thermostat had its own jumper, and obviously we don't have that, so we don't get that option. Okay, we're going to take the jumper and place one side over on the connections from the thermostat. And then the other one, we're going to face in and connect that on the other side of the thermostat. And then I'm going to bend that tab up so that I'm able to just take the other wire and plug that onto there. So we have our power source right here, and we want to put the red wire, and we're going to take the orange wire off too here. We're going to take the red wire, we're going to connect that to the opposite side of the one that's jumpered to the unit. Alright, now we've run into kind of a snag here. The existing orange wire, the connector itself is too small to slide onto the unit here. So I'm going to replace this with the provided connectors. I'm going to cut this one off. And cut it right against the other old connector. And then I'm going to take my knife. You could use a pair of strippers or whatever. I'm going to expose that copper. Just going to take that. Do that. Make sure we have the correct spade bit. This one will work. Alright, so I'm just going to place that inside the new connector. I'll bend these tabs over a little bit so the two front tabs will be on the wire insulation. That'll keep that in place. Alright, and this is secure. We have the two little tabs over here bent down onto the insulation, and then the two tabs on the wire connector that's actually pinched down onto the wire, and that makes the connection. But and then we're just going to plug that onto our new connect. So it'll look like so. You have the orange wire coming in from the machine, jumper wire coming over for the element connection, and then the red wire coming in from the machine to the opposite side of the thermostat. Now we have that task complete. We have the other last wire that's on the element. We need to get that wiggled off. And just put the other element to the side, the old one, we don't need that anymore. And we're going to plug in that wire. Okay, so now that the element is done, that whole task is complete. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get this thing out of the way right now, since this is actually done. Okay, so then I'm just going to slide the new element housing into place. That'll line up these two screws right here. So you're going to slide it into the air intake. We're going to take our screws and we are going to just put that back together. So the element is back in place right now. Going to disconnect this unit. What we're going to do is just put this on wire for wire. Take that off. Take the lower one off. And we're just going to let that dangle. And remove the old one and use the same screw and put that back in place. And when you're tightening them, don't crank down on them. Just give them a nice snug. Okay, so we have one more piece that we need to install, and that's this one right here that came with the kit. And we're going to take that off. That belongs up here. It's only one screw, and that comes out. And it's got a little tab bent on it. There we go. Clean that up a little bit. Okay, so this one's just going to be wire in, wire out. I'm going to go ahead and install the new one. I'm just going to push on that. Once I get that screw in, kind of make it it's not going to be airtight seal, obviously, but we don't need a big gap there. So I'm just going to take it wire for wire. One wire off. Wire back on. wire off, and wire back on. Okay, so that is everything. We've got the new element in place. We got thermostats in place. Everything that was in the kit I installed except for one little extra wire connector that was sent with it. Don't need it. Discard that. All right, so I'm just going to take a vacuum and I'm going to clean everything up, get rid of some of the dust bunnies, and just put it all back together, and then we'll see how it works. Everything is back in place. I've already tested the dryer. It is so much hotter than it was before. I just believe it's the faulty element. Like I said, it's been over 17 years. I'm not sure exactly how long we've had this dryer. It's ran great, but it just needed a couple little extra parts to get her going back together again. And so everything's working and we're in good shape and can start drying clothes again. One thing I'd like to mention, you don't have to know all the names of the parts. I do plumbing for a living. I don't know appliances, but I can match up parts just by visual to where they need to go. And that's all you really need to do, is to identify the part, replace the part, and then just move on. Hope the video was helpful to you. If you've got a dryer that's just not working properly, electric obviously, the kits are available on Amazon, and we can put a link down below on the kit we had. This is for a Kenmore 500, which covers a whole bunch of different models. If you wouldn't mind, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it, and thanks for watching DIY on the House.